I'm not sure how to put that so you can hear me. There we go. Good morning and welcome to your second day. From what I've heard, it's been a wonderful conference. My name is Jeff Zeziger. I'm with Physician Wealth Advisors. And you may have known us by our prior name, which was UMA Financial Services or UMAFS. I'm grateful to be here and just share a few comments with you today. And hopefully we can spend a little bit of time talking about some retirement questions that many may have, including things like, how do I compare to my peers in what I've saved? How much should I be saving? How do I determine that? I should back up there. So keep our lawyers happy. There's our disclaimers. If anyone wants to read those in more detail, we can talk after. So to get started, I ran across this a little while ago. And in this scene, as you can see, a physician is meeting with his financial advisor, and the financial advisor is telling him basically, you may want to think about hunting and gathering as your next career choice. And hopefully no one in this room ends up in that situation. But the reality, the reality is that most people aren't saving enough. In fact, according to a study by Empower Retirement, which is one of the largest retirement providers, this is the average amount saved for people in these age groups across America. And if you think about that in terms of retirement, think of your income that you're making now and how quickly it can go, and then compare it to those amounts saved. It probably wouldn't get you very far. Another study recently published as well also looked at Empower and their retirement balances. And this, I think the first numbers I showed you, that's everyone, whether they're saving or not. That's the average American. This is more drilled in on those that are saving, those that at least have a retirement account, like a 401k. So in this study, they looked at which states save the most money. And as you can see, these are the top three at right over $500,000 average balance. Any ideas where Utah ended up? 45th? Good guess. Unfortunately, including DC, we were the worst. Kind of surprising. On top of that, I think many people also have a hard time saving for retirement by not having a plan, not following one, and being led by emotions. This is a study that's conducted annually. It's probably one of the best known studies, and it's been around for about 40 years. And in the study, Dalbar, a company, looks at how people invest versus what they're investing in. And they want to see if the performance is the same. Theoretically, if I'm in a fund and that fund is providing me an investment opportunity, then I should be making the same amount of return that the fund is. But as you can see by this, the fund making over 9%, the average investor making close to 7%. And the main reason for that is emotions. People timing the market wrong, jumping in and out. By the time you typically hear it's time to get out of the market, it's already time to probably be in it because it's about to turn around. On top of that, I think your group faces even more unique challenges. And it starts from the decision the first decision you make to become a physician. Medical school, I don't have to tell you, I'm preaching to the choir here, but it's expensive. And that, besides the length of time that it takes to get to the point where you're actually practicing and making an income, there really aren't traditional ways of financing that. Do you put your lifestyle on a credit card? You take out more student loans? It just amounts to a bigger challenge. On top of that, you start practicing, and then you find out I need to be paying for insurance. Malpractice, life insurance to protect the investment you've made in yourself, disability as well. And all that, you still have at least some delayed gratification to where it's time to start living a lifestyle. You've delayed it compared to all the friends you grew up with to get to where you are. It's time to start doing it. And so that lifestyle creep, that tendency to spend a little bit more, can add up. And then, because of that, it's easy to fall behind on retirement and estate planning. And as you know, burnout is a real challenge as well. So what should you do? How should you focus on it? I think like in all things in life, you have things that matter and things that you can control. And those are two big areas, and they don't perfectly align. But there is a part where they probably do, and that's where you should focus. How do you do that? Well, one way, and just like anything else in life, is to work with an expert and have someone that can help you set goals and go through them. Vanguard, who many of you are probably familiar with, they choose not to work with advisors. Individual clients can work directly with Vanguard, but they don't allow outside advisors to work with them directly. And they conduct a study every year that talks about looking at their clients, what's a difference of those that invest and use an advisor and those that don't. And even better, they broke it down by where the value comes from, if there is any value in using an advisor. This study's been running now for 10 or 12 years, and the numbers have remained the same. It's roughly about 3% advantage net of costs. And the reason for that, I believe, is a big part of that is behavior and helping control behavior, helping calm fears during difficult times. But there is also value in making sure that you're doing what's right, that you're following your plan. And I think that's the main thing. This is a list of kind of the different things that a good advisor should be doing with you. Whether it's starting your plan, updating it along the way, keeping track of it, or ultimately it's a partnership. And by working together, you're able to stick to a plan, you're accountable to that plan, and you're able to progress through the different areas of life. Really quick on us. For those that are familiar, thank you. For those that aren't, as by way of introduction, we were started 30 years ago. We're in our 31st year of business now, and we're owned by the Utah Medical Association. The reason we were started, as many of you are aware, there were a number of scandals that really kind of targeted physicians in Utah, and we were started as an answer to that, to try to protect physicians and give them an unbiased source to get financial advice. We specialize in asset management and financial planning for physicians and their families. As far as the firm, as you can see here, we're all certified financial planners as the advisors, most of which also have graduate degrees in what they're doing. We do act as a fiduciary in making sure that your needs are always being put first. And I think part of that is we're paid by salary, not commissions, like many other advisors out there. So I mentioned at the first of the presentation that I would tell you how much you should be saving and also how you're doing compared to your peers. And I'm not. I kinda am. But I'm gonna give you some general information, and then you're welcome to talk to us where we can kind of talk more directly on that. But this is a study by J.P. Morgan that looks at your household income and how much you should have of that by what age if you want to be on target for retirement planning. Excuse me. So if you look at that, much of this chart doesn't apply to you. You're probably in school or training. So let's take, for example, a 40-year-old. A 40-year-old physician making $250,000 should have about 4 times that income saved by age 40. Kind of tough to do, but if you're maximizing your retirement plans, doing Roths, maybe saving outside of that, you can definitely do it. If you're a 60-year-old that is making $300,000, you should have 12 times that saved at that point. Another way to look at it is how much should you be saving then to get there. And you can see the challenge that comes with the delayed time of saving. So if you're a 35-year-old and you want to be on target, you should be saving about 26% of your income. Now, I know that's hard to do, but that's a good target. And that's where I think a personalized plan comes into play. If you jump down, if you wait till 45 to start that same amount, you have to save nearly double to get there. So where are you? This is an interesting study I found that shows how much the average physician has saved by what ages. And this is from the AMA and their insurance company. For those of you older than this, I didn't forget you. So in reality, I think the best way to be able to accomplish this, to get to these points, is to have a plan, to stick with it, to make sure it's customized to you, and that you're tracking and updating that plan along the way. We would love to answer questions for you, talk more about any of this information. During your lunch hour, my colleague Mark Woodruff will be expanding on much of these thoughts and giving you more detail on this as well. But thank you, welcome to your conference, and hope you enjoy your time.
Thank you so much. Now I feel like I need to go talk to my financial advisor / husband and make sure I'm on track. All right, good morning. I'm Dr. Baca. I'm Kirsten Baca. Today's our second day of full conference. Our topic, patient safety in primary and specialty care. Today's breakfast and lunch are sponsored by our partner, Physician Wealth Advisors. Please stand if you're associated with Physician Wealth Advisors. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. All right. We are about to get started with our first talk of the day, given by Dr. Casey Batchison. Dr. Batchison's talk is sponsored by our partner, Intermountain Healthcare. If you're associated with Intermountain Healthcare, could you please stand? We'd like to honor you. Yeah, thank you. Thank you. And Dr. Batchison, we are ready for you. Thank you so much for coming.